Hello there. My name is Abron Lewis, and my native language is English. Yeah, English. And languages that I'm learning or I'm most familiar with is Spanish, Mandarin, and one of my classmates has been helping me learn Hindu. And my student at school, me and her, she's practicing teaching me Dari, and I'm helping her more with her English as well. So I think I got into learning languages right before I moved to China. I was preparing to go there to dance, be a backup dancer, and I knew I wanted to go in with like a humble tourist mindset. Uh, Mainly like I didn't expect them to know English, and it was my duty to try to bridge that communication across myself and to them. So what I ended up doing was downloading Google Translate, and I downloaded the Mandarin, I guess the Mandarin language. And since it was already pre-downloaded on my phone, I didn't have to worry about having service or Wi-Fi in order to like use Google Translate. And so when I got there, I would use that most of my time just speaking in English to my own phone and then having it translate to Mandarin and then showing it to like the locals when it was something I needed, whether I was looking for like water or food or like a place to go play games or anything of that matter. And so I remember the apartment that I was staying at, there was like this 7-Eleven that was like right underneath my apartment building. And so every morning I would go there to like get some juice and stuff. And like, so the clerk was like, at first it was like a shock to see me because obviously there's not a lot of black people that lives in Asia. But so he was like, it was like a culture shock for him as well, just seeing me. And then so over time, like I would speak English to him and he would speak Mandarin to me like through like the phone. And then so he started learning English words and I was learning Mandarin words from just hearing it so often. And then so me and him would go back and forth just like teaching each other our languages and it was like pretty cool. And one of the questions that I found interesting on here was that um, what is the best way to learn a second or foreign language? And as a teacher, how will you help ELLs develop their English learning language? For me, I can, for myself, the best way to learn a language, I think, is to find patterns that you can remember that helps you know what the language is. So for me, 9 times out of 10, that came with the numbers within any language. I could find like a pattern and stick with that pattern in order to figure out like what's next to come up. So for example, with Spanish, if you're doing like 1 through 20, obviously you have like uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. But when you get to like the 10 to 20, you got once you get past catorce, which is 14, you have like deci, cinco, dieciséis, dieciocho, diecinueve, I mean 20, and then 21, 22, 23, and so forth and so on. So like there's a pattern where like 20, which is 20, and then obviously 1 through 9 is uno, dos, tres. So put in that pattern, you can like pretty much get all the way up to 100. Same thing when it came to Mandarin, but sun, su, wu, liu, qi, ba, jio, shi. So shi is 10, and 11 is 1 and 1. So how they say 11 in Mandarin would be 10, which is sheer, and then 1, which is E. So sheer E, and then sheer R, which would be 12. So they're just doing 10 and then plus 1, then 10 plus 2, and so forth and so on. So 20 would be 2, which is R, but 10, which is sheer. So R sheer will be 20. So knowing that pattern, like as somebody who knows like who loves math, so it's like, oh, the pattern between these numbers, and I can get all the way up to like 100 just like knowing that. So I think figuring out the patterns of the language, learning the letters, and also learning the pronunciations of like how each letter sounds helps you out when learning just like having a solid foundation of the language. Then what I ended up doing was learning like the nouns and the verbs are the common everyday things what people obviously say day to day to strike yourself up within daily conversation. So like in Spanish, how you have "Cómo estás," which is how are you? In Mandarin, that just be "Ni hao ma," and then in Dari, I believe is "Chito asti." So learning like those just basic greetings and phrases helps you like learn a languages a whole lot. And the more you use it, the more you do not lose it. But if you don't use it, then you lose like those capabilities. So just surrounding yourself by people who speak the language and constantly helping you reinforce it to learn it as well. Um, my teaching philosophy, for the most part, for me, I would like to make teaching just relatable to the students. I feel like once you make things relatable to the students, then they're more likely to learn what you're teaching. If the kids don't have anything relatable in the content that you're teaching, then 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be paying attention, or they're not going to have enthusiastic to learn the lessons. So if you can find ways to make your lesson relatable, but also just show that you genuinely care and passionate about what you're doing and passionate about the children, then they're going to respect you and be more reluctant to listen to you. Now, that's not saying that they're always going to like listen to everything you say, because they're human at the end of the day. So whatever problems that they're going through and whatnot, there's gonna be days where they don't want to listen to you, even if they do respect you and all that, because at that moment they're just going through some stuff. But if you're passionate about it and like you're making it relatable to them and you actually care for your students, more than often they will listen to what you say and not give you attitude or just try to make your day rough. But yeah, that's it. First blog. Let's go.